forecast first. Sponsored by Matex Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing.
Well, the storm tracker Doppler radar is quiet right now, but we are watching it carefully as additional storms may fire as we get into later on tonight. 87. It is another hot and humid one, but hang in there. There is a cold front that is going to push through here, and we're going to see a big drop-off in those temperatures for the weekend. Feels like 94 still with the heat index. Uncomfortable for sure. Going to stay uncomfortable and muggy through this evening. A lot better for the weekend. We're going to come back here in a little bit. We're going to talk about thunderstorms as we get into later on tonight, so stick around. WCIA 3 News starts right now.
Now on WCIA 3 News.
A second inmate that was housed here at the Iroquois County Jail has died, while the preliminary autopsy results are raising more questions than answers.
It's been 44 years, but it still feels like it was yesterday.
An officer was shot and killed on that day in 1976, why the family is having to relive the tragedy again. And he served the state for 4 years as governor, where Bruce Rauner is now registered to vote.
You're watching your local news leader. This is WCIA 3 News at 6.
We have ruled out blunt force trauma. We have ruled out strangulation.
Autopsy results are narrowing the possible causes of death of an inmate at the Iroquois County Jail. Good evening, I'm Paul Cicchini. This is one of two inmates who have died there this week. 24-year-old Andre Maiden and 47-year-old Jason Fancher were found unresponsive at the jail days apart. 2 days after they were both found unresponsive, officials are still trying to figure out how exactly they died. WCIA 3's Jennifer Jensen is live at the jail. So, Jennifer, what can you tell us tonight?
Paul, we do know that Andre Maiden did not die of physical injury, such as strangulation or fractures. The coroner ruled all of that out. The autopsy for Jason Fancher was conducted by the Champaign County coroner, but no information has been released on that yet. He was found unresponsive in the jail on Tuesday and died yesterday. Maiden was found unresponsive in the jail on Wednesday and died that same day. The Iroquois County coroner's office has not said if they believe Maiden's death was intentional or unintentional, and they also won't say if they believe anything is suspicious about that death. But right now, they're waiting on results of the toxicology reports to get more information.
They draw blood and they run the blood work for drugs. And basically all we're doing is we're trying to eliminate that there are no drugs in his system.
Maiden was in jail waiting for trial on the charge of first-degree murder after being accused of stabbing and killing 22-year-old Isaiah Nelson in November last year. Fancher was in jail waiting for his jury trial for a first-degree murder charge in connection to the death of 54-year-old Pam Williams in rural Sheldon. Now, as soon as we get more details on the updates of the autopsies, we will make sure to bring you those details as police continue the investigation into both of these cases. Live in Watsika, I'm Jennifer Jensen, WCIA 3. Your local news leader.
All right, Jennifer, thanks. Here's a follow-up now. A man who helped to murder a state trooper 44 years ago is now walking free. The Illinois Prisoner Review Board voted on it yesterday. James Taylor was arrested in 1976 for holding down Trooper Leighton Davis while Aaron Heisch shot and killed him. Taylor has been released. Heisch has not. WCIA 3's Courtney Bunting joins us live in the newsroom tonight. So, Courtney, you spoke to the family. They think this is way too soon.
Absolutely, Paul, and that's really an understatement because he was sentenced to 100 years. So you can imagine what surprise it was to Davis's family to find out he was getting out. That's why they pleaded to the review board to not release him. But they're afraid that request fell on deaf ears.
It's been 44 years, but it still feels like it was yesterday.
State Trooper Leighton Davis would have been 95 if he were alive today. One of the men who murdered him, James Taylor, is now 70 and getting out of prison early.
We never thought they would get released from prison because of their actions.
Taylor and Aaron Heisch murdered Davis during a traffic stop on I-57 near Effingham in 1976. That section of the interstate is now named in his honor, and a memorial to him stands on a corner downtown. It pays tribute to his 19 years with state police. The State Prisoner Review Board voted 8-5 in favor of Taylor's release, but denied Heisch's.
I'll be honest, it was pretty heartbreaking.
Kurt Davis is Layton's grandson. He's also the deputy chief with Effingham Police. He and his family spoke in front of the board before they voted, pleading for them to not give Davis's murderers their freedom.
Our family still lives with the consequences of what happened. I never got to meet my grandfather. I was born in 1978. This incident occurred in 1976. None of his grandchildren or great-grandchildren had the opportunity to meet him.
Sharon Davis is married to one of Layton's sons. She married him only months before Layton was killed.
He was a very loving man, very supportive of his family, do anything for you. We do have to accept the ruling that the board made. Are we happy with it? No.
They ended his suffering and released him, and he is free to walk. But my grandfather is not free to walk. Our pain is not free and clear. It's not gone. We live with it forever. Every Christmas, every Thanksgiving, every birthday, every new child born in our family. It's a never-ending sentence for us.
Now, when the board was making this decision, they looked at factors like good behavior and the fact that Taylor wasn't the one who fired those deadly shots. Heish's freedom will be up for the board's approval again next year. Reporting live in the newsroom, Courtney Bunting, WCIA 3, your local news leader.
Pretty incredible story. Courtney, thanks. Now we do have an update. A man is facing murder charges after a deadly shooting in downtown Springfield earlier this month. Happened on August 8th outside Wet Bar on South 5th Street. Police saying 32-year-old Darius Jones was taken to the hospital after he was shot several times. He died from his injuries. 26-year-old Jonathan Austin is now charged with 4 counts of first-degree murder in connection to Jones' death, among other charges. He's in custody at the Sangamon County Jail on $5 million bond. One person is dead after a car hit the back of a tractor. It happened just before 9 this morning east of Neoga. State police say 27-year-old Hannah Watson Rihanna was driving east when she failed to slow down for the tractor that was sweeping the shoulder of the road. The driver of the tractor was not seriously hurt. One person was injured after a car and motorcycle crashed this afternoon in Champaign. Happened just after 3 on South Neal Street near Carriage Center Court. There aren't details about how it happened, but the motorcycle came in contact with the back of the car. He was taken to the hospital. No word on his condition. Several counties in central Illinois are at a warning level for coronavirus. They include Cumberland, Cass, Effingham, Morgan, Shelby, and Sangamon. The Springfield area specifically has seen a resurgence recently in cases. 42 new infections today, including 1 more death.
Even though overall our numbers are greatly improved since last time we were in warning, we still are in warning. So once you get 2 categories, you know, that's enough to put you in the orange.
In all, 30 counties are now on the list with 2 or more COVID-19 risk indicators. As for the latest statewide numbers, there are more than 2,100 new cases statewide. That makes more than 229,000 total infections since the pandemic began. 20 more people have died in Illinois, and that means the state has lost nearly 8,000 people to COVID-19. Former Illinois Governor Bruce Rauner has a new polling place in Florida. He hasn't officially said that is his place of residence, but he did register to vote there. It's been 2 years since the former governor lost his job to J.B. Pritzker. He still owns property in Illinois as well as in several other states. Plus, he can still donate to political campaigns in Illinois. From your local election headquarters now, the state hit a major milestone for the number of mail-in ballot applications, and August isn't over yet. State Board of Elections said 1 million voters have already applied for their ballots. WCIA 3's Cole Hankey has more.
Counties across the state are setting records for the number of mail-in ballot applications they have already gotten. And now, only about a month after the state started sending applications to every registered voter from the past few elections, the state has received 1 million requests for mail-in ballots.
We knew this year would be unusual, obviously, and we were putting a push on to encourage people to use vote by mail, but we didn't anticipate that we would hit this milestone so quickly.
The number of applications are doubling previous year's totals. Election officials are expecting even more to come in, and they want people to get their applications in early, so the system is not overwhelmed by the number of people applying.
So that's huge. Normally we do about 8.5% by mail in Sangamon County. It's not the primary focus of Sangamon County's voting, and I've got requests today that's double the amount of that. You know, that's pretty extraordinary.
Reporting in Springfield, I'm Cole Hankey.
While the applications have already been filed, the ballots themselves won't be sent until September 24th. Thanksgiving's a day for family food and football. Now, the Big Ten could be part of that holiday. Also tonight, every fall is a place where tailgating goes to another level, where the smells of brats and burgers have been replaced with jumping jacks and sweat.
Yeah, tailgating. How about that? That is a live look. No, the Chicago Bears are not there on the screen, but that is a mural painted on one of the buildings in downtown Decatur. That's another shot from our new Roofing Dog iNet Carriage Crossings camera that is down there. 90 and 71. It was another hot one today. We've got some nice weather for the weekend, though. I can't wait to share that with you. We've got to talk about storms that could hit us tonight when we come back.